Hi, I'm Jed, and this is Jed Makes Noise. And today we're making noise with a synthesizer, a drum machine, and some cassette tape loops. And we're going to make some experimental music. Check it out.
I reject your hypothesis. I reject your...
So, firstly, tape loops. What are they? Let's talk a little bit about them. So we know that a cassette has a certain amount of minutes that we can record onto from start to finish. That all comes down to how long the length of tape wrapped up inside here is. But what if we were to take a piece of that tape and cut it and then stick those two ends together? Now, if we played that piece of tape back, it would just play on a continuous loop. And that's what this tape is. It's a modified cassette that will play a 15-second loop. See the short piece of tape inside here? So let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so I have here my Tascam cassette recorder. Now these are what we used to record at home before we used our computers to do home recording. And it allows me to record 4 separate channels of audio. Now, what I've prepared earlier is a few different sounds for each channel. Now see here, I've got the tape playing already, and that's my 15-second tape loop that will just continuously play over and over again. So on the first channel here, I've got a loop of myself singing a vocal melody recorded again and again, laid on top of each other. It sounds like this. Now, you can hear that little gap. That is because there is a piece of tape sticking the two ends of the tape together. Now, that's something we can't help. But that sort of adds a little bit of charm because we're dealing with an unpredictable medium here, analog tape. You can also be quite sharp with the EQs here, so I've got quite a lot of high end on that to bring out that breathiness of my vocals. Now you could add a little bit of low end, but it gets a little bit too boomy, so I like it like that. And we can also pan. I'm going to leave it over here. Now, my next loop is another vocal loop. It's me doing a little bit of a higher melody. I've got it panned over here a little bit, and I've got the breathiness up with the high end on the EQ here. So we start layering these layers together. It's starting to fill out this composition. Now on the third channel, I've actually got myself just saying a quote that I heard Quentin Tarantino saying.
I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis.
Now I spoke that through my vocal effects pedal, which sort of made my voice a little bit deeper and a bit distorted, like it said through a radio.
I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis.
I'm going to stick that right down the center because that's kind of like our lead vocal. And then this isn't a vocal loop on the fourth channel, it's actually another synth. It's my microcorg doing a little bit of a high string sound. And I've got that over here panned a little bit to the right. So let's put them all together. Now something you can also do is make the tape play at a higher speed or a slower speed with the pitch control here. Now that's going to change the pitch of all of these loops. It's going to sound very strange.
I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis.
Or slow.
I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis. I reject your hypothesis.
So I've got a group of loops here that I'm quite happy with, but I'd like to add something else to them. I think I'd like to add a drum machine and a synthesizer to them to introduce some more elements. So let's set them up and see what happens. When I was making these tape loops, I thought this really deserves a nice slow and steady beat. So I started with a kick pattern. And some hi-hats. And I thought maybe some more percussion. Let's try and get this a little bit of a simple sort of industrial, early industrial music sort of beat. Maybe something that Throbbing Gristle could have written. Bit of a woodblock sound. And this last one is a cowbell sound. And finally, a synthesizer to make a bit of a bass sound. Of course, I'm going to use my Roland SH-101 for that. So I made a little bit of a strange bass line, nice and simple, but using a little bit of a weird sort of ambiguous melodic contour. And I can increase the frequency for variation. And I can change the modulation on the filter here. Change the rate of the filter modulation. I can change the range of the oscillators. And basically just have fun with the synthesizer. So let's see what we can do with all of these elements together. Let's have a little bit of a jam. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. And if you'd like to support me further, head on over to my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/JedMakesNoise. Thanks.